Our SMS line, that's 111 and it's going to cost you just a shilling to talk to us. Come on, December morning, we call you wake up and get inspired and schooled, and I really do. I love you, Mama. I want to say hi to my family in Wihoko. Nancy watching from Moranga. Thank you for tuning in, Nancy. Good morning, Mikali. You look super gorgeous. Thank you. It's Weshi from Roiro. Wale speaks sense. He never goes wrong. I like this. It's a good way to start off my day. Glad you love it. I am watching Mr. Wale on Mindset. How can I buy his books? This is Pastor Karanja. He says if you go to Twitter, all your problems will be solved. Wale Akinyemi. But I'll make sure that tomorrow we get to find out exactly where and how much you can get his books for, okay? Right now, though, if you're driving and you're wondering what's happening over here, you're sitting, you're like, oh, what's happening over here? Like our daily routines that somehow disrupt our body postures. Now, talking about this is gentleman I met a couple of years ago, super excited. He is an expert in this and I totally trust whatever he says. He's the only person I let do a thing with my neck that felt like I was gonna die. You know that thing? I don't know what it's called. But Dr. Hamisi Kote is in the building. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Mikhail.
What was that thing you did with my neck?
We call it an adjustment.
Adjustment?
An adjustment, yes.
That is, you just...
Yes, you see, the human body is made of several vertebrae. Okay. And these vertebrae are stuck on each other.
Yes.
And they somehow, because of different muscular tension, can get out of alignment. So when we are able to locate that out of alignment, which causes subluxation, then we are able to put it back by
there was something wrong that you fixed.
That's right.
And it takes a lot of trust for anybody to just let you do that. It's not easy.
Yeah, someone needs to know what they're doing.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I said I trust you. He's here. So you're talking about body postures. But before we get into all of that, kindly introduce yourself to the people who do not know you and what you do. This is your camera.
Thank you very much. My name is Dr. Hamisi Kote Ali. I'm a chiropractor specialized in fascia manipulation by Steko. So what is chiropractic? Chiropractic means done by hand. Chiropractors work to correct misalignments in or on the spinal column, which is from the head to toe, and we also manipulate part of other bones. Fascia, it's this tissue that puts our body together and end up providing like a map of the human body. Understanding how this map of the body integrates with our spinal column, then we are able to maintain a balance and correction of postural imbalance, correction of how our body functions in entirety.
What?
Yes.
That's a lot, but just to make it easy,
yes,
you use your hands to make me and other people
get well.
Get well.
That's right.
Your hands.
Yes.
Just that.
Just my hands.
And
yes.
It can fix everything, almost
entirely everything. Yes. Almost entirely everything. Like I've said, the human body has a map.
Yes.
And this map kind of represents every part of us.
Okay.
And if we are to look at the human map, then we are able to divide the body into three.
Okay.
We are able to divide the body into a structure, what forms the body, which is our muscles and our bones. And we are also able to look at it on metabolism side, the internal part of our body that metabolizes or uses whatever we eat to make the skeletal system and the muscles to work. And then finally we have the emotional part. That's the energy, the power that makes that runs this system. So once you understand that, then you know that whenever you're working with the human body, just using your hands, you need to be able to balance these three things: the structure, the metabolism, and the emotional part.
Your hands can handle my emotional part.
That's right.
What have we been doing wrong? We have so many emotions. Okay, no, I'm joking. Today we're talking about, body postures and how, like, the way I'm seated and the way you're seated is totally different. Even I can tell. You're all the way back and you're just upright. Me, I'll just be over here trying to look pretty.
Right.
But then at the end of the day, I'll have pains left, right, center.
Right.
And that's what we're talking about. The different daily routines that we are involved in that sort of just, don't sit right with us at the end of the day. So
maybe before we get there, we need to define what posture is.
Okay.
And posture is our body position in space, whether sitting or standing.
Okay.
We can also say it's the body resistance to gravity in an upright position. Okay. So for this to happen, it's the brain. You know, most of the time we think it's the slouching, it's the bad, the bad habit, but
It's
it all starts. It all starts from the brain and special senses. So let me say that our brain controls our motor function. You know, like how I'm able to move my hand.
That's true.
That and then our brain also controls how we stabilize. For me to be able to sit upright is not only the motor ability, but also the body ability to keep it stabilized and balanced. Otherwise, the body will be all over the place. And the other thing is the spinal cord or the spinal cord. And the spinal cord and the foot are really interrelated in so many ways than one. So the spinal column kind of gives you that postural alignment. So let me break it down. The eyes. Posture starts with the eyes.
Eyes?
Yes.
Okay.
The eyes help us to see distance and depth. So it gives our body that orientation of where we are in space. So whenever you're seated, even here, you're able to see the surroundings. So if you told you to close your eyes and walk to the door, despite the fact that you know where the door is, you may walk in kind of a staggering position. Your posture, your gait, and it will be distorted.
Yes.
Number one. Number two, it's the ears. The ears provide us with equilibrium. It helps the body know where the body is in space, and even when you move, you don't move. So the ears give us that, and then the spinal cord gives us the information. You know, the sensory information. So this helps us with motor and sensory, but at the same time, the spinal cord gives us feedback back. Now that's why we have to go down to the feet, and in the feet we have to consider what we wear, our footwear, tight. If it's tight shoes that are causing a lot of pressure in the feet, will affect your posture. If it's high heels, it will affect your posture. If it's very flat shoes, may affect your posture. So we look at this integration to understand then how we end up distorting our posture. So let me go to the eyes. In the eyes, you may have people who go here. When the people who are here most of the time will have there must be something within their eye and also on their vestibular, because vestibular makes us stay upright. Okay, the ear, which is the ears, helps us to be in that upright position. And then the eyes gives us this kind of position. So most of the time you find people with this kind of posture, either they're having issues with their eye and they have to get closer to their computer like we do with our phone. Okay.
Yes.
That's number one. And number two, you may find people who are always neck tilted, and this occurs mostly if you have one eye that is stronger than the other. So if let's say the right or the left is stronger than the other, then the eye that is dominant, you end up facing that side most of the time.
So if my left is dominant,
so
I will end up tilting on this side.
Yes, because the other eye gets pulled towards it.
Because it's not as strong as this other one.
Yes. Then you can also have people who have a rotation, a rotation. So you also have a rotation of the eye, because again, it's the strength. If you're sorry, let me correct it. When you have a problem with your eye strength, it's that rotation. It makes you get the rotation of the eye. If you cannot converge your eyes in the center, then you get a tilt. So from a rotation is when one eye is stronger.
Okay.
And for a tilt is when you cannot converge, so you end up having a tilt.
Oh my goodness. We're taking a short commercial break on that. We have a huge chat in studio. You want to find out what that is for, so don't go any far. If you have any questions, 111 444 111. It's going to cost you just a shilling. Just send in that question, because when we come back, Dr. Hamisi will still be here with us. Welcome back to Full Circle with Mikalia. Very good morning to you. We are talking to Dr. Hamisi Kote, and we're talking about the daily routines in our life that are actually ruining our posture. And he's made it very clear that before you look like this, ama you walk like this, ama something happens to you, it starts from somewhere else. Like it could start from the eyes.
Yes.
And it's so interesting, because I never thought about it like that.
So just to recap, let me say that we have two form of sensation, or two form of information. We have what comes from the brain, which is motor, and we have what comes out of the environment back to the brain, which is sensory.
Okay.
Now, the human body moves in 3 planes of motion. You're able to bend forward and back, side, and rotation. So posture will always be distorted in either one of these 3 motions.
Okay.
So, so what happens is that when someone, let's say, has a weakness in their eyes, it could be one of the 3 motions. It could be rotation, it could be side, or it could be gazing forward. Like I said, if you have most of us who get this type of posture, you find you slouch forward and then you want to look up because you can't go looking down. As a result of that, you end up changing the position of your neck. When you move your head forward and change your position of your neck, you need to understand that the head is supposed to be supported in a neutral position. But if you tilt it this way, every tilt forward keeps on adding a lot of weight to your spinal column. And as a result of that, you put a lot of tension in the neck and the upper back. As a result, you end up developing this pain that everybody keeps on pushing on their shoulders. That's number 1. Number 2, we said if one eye is stronger than the other eye, then you end up having to look more, to tilt more to the side of the stronger eye. And as a result, you find there are people who sit like this, and you ask them, they're telling you, I'm fine, but they see their wild orientation in that type of rotation. And then you have those people who have weak strength of one eye to the other in terms of focusing into the center. So if you have a problem with focusing into the center, then you'll have more of a rotational gaze. So when we are trying to rehabilitate or trying to correct these people's posture, we have to make sure we assess their eyes, number 1. And number 2, we look at the ears. The ears gives us the uprightness. Okay. Whenever the the ears and the spinal cord and the eyes, they all work together. Okay. And the eyes will give us this, the ears will give us the uprightness. So whenever there is an imbalance between the 2, then also we end up slouching forward because we don't have that stimuli to go here. Okay. The other thing that we need to know about posture is that posture is like breathing. It's auto reflex. You don't control posture really all the time. Like, how many times have you thought about your posture today? Maybe until we started discussing this.
That's so true.
You know,
I was just looking at you seated there. I was like, there's a whole space. Maybe I should just be like this. What's going on?
Yeah, but you see,
I don't think about it all the time.
It's like breathing. You don't think about your breathing. So breathing is something that you can actively control, and you can also unconsciously have it happen in automatic. Same is the posture. So for us to be able to change the posture, be it the phone, be it the rotation, be it whatever it is, we have first of all to be able to get good sensory integration into our eyes and into our ears. Without that, the rest of it, the physical part, you're going to be correcting it, and then a few days it's back.
You're back there.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. I think that is enlightenment on another level, because we mostly work on, I'll just go get a massage. I just need somebody to stretch me out kidogo, then I'll be okay. Then you're okay for a few seconds and that's it. Ama, you feel in your head that you're working towards getting better, but there's a deeper problem that you should be focusing on.
Yes, because the brain is what controls, the auto reflex is what controls your posture without you thinking about it. And then you also know that the posture center is at the back of the back of our head and down on the brainstem. It's there that all these information converge. Some go down, some come up. So the ones that come down from down is what is sensory, is what tells you the brain where the body is in space, and the reaction that goes out is what reaction of the body needs to do to maintain that balance. So depending on what is stronger and what positions you get used to so often, so if you're used to leaning more on your computer for a very long time, you'll find that you'll develop a flexion type of a posture, so you'll end up more in that kind of a position. Okay. So if at the same time you have, let's say, as I said, a weakness with your eyes, you may either be staying like this. You see, like that way shape pose. Yeah. You know. So and for you to be able to correct this, then it's not just about stretching. No. And even the way we do the exercises for the posture is not like the way we do it in the gym. It's not about many repetitions. No, it's about holding whatever the posture correction you use, and letting your brain interpret that movement for a while, maybe 10-20 seconds, and then you let go, and you don't do many repetitions. You do like 5. Okay, so for example, if we are trying to correct the eye, we use a very simple tool. Let's say someone can come to see me with very severe back pain, and
severe back pain.
Yes, and they're slouching forward.
Yes,
I can just use my pen and be able to bring the pen here, and ask them if they can see the tip of the pen. If they are not able to see the tip of the pen, you will be able to see either one eye looks this way, the other eye does not even move.
Okay.
So to correct that, it's simple. You just need to do some circular movement within the eye that is weak towards the eye that is weak. So you want this eye to look this way.
Yes.
So you don't do it here, you do it here.
You do it the other side.
You do it here.
So it keeps moving to
so
this.
you keep on pulling this neurologically. That way you'll affect also the skeletal muscles. You're affecting your postural muscles, because then it will automatically correct itself. It's an auto reflex, remember.
Oh my goodness.
Number 2 is when you're doing an exercise, let's say for the ears. For the ears, it's very simple. You can use a marked position like this one, and you just have, let's say your patient stand, have their eyes here. It doesn't have to be a posture grid. You can just mark a position. Okay. And then ask the patient or someone to bend to close their eyes, and then start moving. You'll be surprised by the time you tell them to stop. I want you to remember where I started, and then let's see where I am when I close. Now you can see I was this way.
Yes, you were this way.
So I'm more weaker on this side. So my rehabilitation, if I'm doing rehabilitation for correcting this posture in myself, I would have something that I'm looking at here, but I would have to do more of this kind of position to stimulate my gaze, and also to stimulate my postural control, to be able to strengthen the weaker side that I have.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
So despite the fact that I may need to do some manipulation on the muscles, I may need to manipulate the spine, I need to be able to use reflexes and postural control to correct it easier, and for it to hold for a longer time.
And that is not done the whole. You see how we go to the gym, you go there for like maybe 2-3 hours doing almost the same thing. This is not the same thing. You just focus on where the weakness is for a couple of times, and not as fast. No, it's a slow, you do it like five counts, and you take a break, because you want we call them multiplanar exercises. Multiplanar means you are interacting the brain with more than one activity, so that the brain can focus. For example, things that we do all the time, for example, driving. You may be driving, but then you don't realize how quick you got to here from your house. You don't realize, how did I get here? What did I see on the road? If you ask, what did you see on the road? Why? Because that is auto reflex. It becomes, your body has gotten conditioned to doing that. However, if I told you to drive, and at the same time, let's say, concentrate by making sure you see things on the way, or maybe you're doing another task, your brain gets really focused and concentrating, and that's the way you're able to correct your posture. Or like you even when you're driving to a place you don't know, and you're using Google Maps,
your head is alert,
very alert.
And you can never forget when you come back, because your brain learns. It's not just a normal task.
So it's the same thing when I condition my body to do this thing that I have a weakness in, and I concentrate on it, then the body now slowly adjusts to rectify.
We say it resets back to factory settings.
Yes. That is so interesting.
That's right.
We look at this whole thing wrong.
It's because posture is mostly we base posture on physical. We look at more physical. We look at muscle shortening. You look at muscle tightening. But before that happened, there was a stimulus that continuously kept on loading this bad posture, that over time the muscles kind of got pulled and held into that position. So if you are to correct that, then you need to understand, is it the eyes, is it the ears, is it the spinal column, or is it the feet that are contributing to you getting this type of a bad posture.
Okay. We've also seen conversations around how to properly sit. We've seen pictorials of such, how to properly stand, workstations, and how you don't sit all the time. Have a workstation that is, that makes you work from, a standing position. If you're lifting stuff from the gym, there's a posture, there's a correct posture to do that. How does that also help in, even if I don't have a problem, to just make sure that my posture is right? Does it add to anything?
Yeah, but you see, most of the time, not all of us will afford that complex equipment.
That's true.
So, if we are then to help people who, me and you, without anything that you have, then you just need to have yourself, your body, and yourself. So they said you can do the circles of the eye on each side of your eye. That will help bring your eyes together.
Does it matter what direction it's going?
No, it's clockwise.
Clockwise knee? If you thinking
yes, clockwise. So
clockwise knee.
Clockwise, depending on the hand you're using.
Okay, confused, but clockwise, guys.
Yes, clockwise. So it's either this.
Oh, yeah.
Or this.
Okay, yes.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
So depending on what you're using. So that is one. Number two, it's the neck. So you're here, you want to correct it. The first thing you want to do is tuck your chin in.
Okay.
Tuck your chin in. Hold it for a few seconds, like 5, and then let go. Then activate again, hold. And every time you're trying to maintain a gaze, you're having a target that you're trying to gaze. That's number one. Number two is what you call posture relaxation.
Okay.
Posture relaxation is every few minutes, if you're working in the office, to just stretch out.
Ah.
No, and then come back.
Okay.
Why? Because we go here. So you need to do the opposite. You need to do the opposite for that, for your body. And then come back. Okay. This exercise can be done by even you lying on a plinth, and then you erect you extend your back backwards and hold. Yeah. You don't just go and come back. You just want to go and hold. Why? Because you want to keep that stimuli to the brain, so that the brain can start noticing that, hey, this is the right pattern. Ah,
great. So let's look at a few questions before I let you go, Daktari. Okay. Where I saw what, okay, here we go. Hi Mwikali, kindly ask Daktari, how do we go about a spine that has a disc that has gone out of place, which causes excruciating back pain from time to time? That's Michelle Gifts.
Well, I'd look, as I said, I would look from the feet. I would start with the feet. I want to see, when I look at your feet, I want to understand, because because the feet is your contact and the support system is your foundation of the story building, you know, your body. Yes. So I want to see when I look at your feet, I want to see, are you rotating inwards?
Okay.
Are you rotating outwards? You know, just even looking at your shoe, I'll be able to see that. Are you turning your foot inward? Are you collapsing your knee? And then with that understanding, then you're able to know what is happening at the spinal level. Then from there, you go up. You want to look at the position of the ear to the shoulder. And the position of the ear to the shoulder will help you to know, are they in front? Are they where they're supposed to be? And then you want to look at the rotational part, which is, are they rotated to either side? So that as you create the rehabilitation program for their back, but you're using the eyes, the ears, the feet to correct the posture back and relieve the back pain.
Ah, okay. What happens, you talked about feet and it just hit me. I saw, most of the times when I walk on the floor, people say I lift my toes. Right. So I walk like this. And then I saw a picture of me in primary school, barefoot, and my 2 toes are up here. I have got no idea what that is. But just you mentioned it, I was like, oh, Mwikali, your feet.
Yeah, you see, when you look at, when you look at your feet, if you have corns.
Yes.
If you have corns, you have toes that are on top of each other, you know, you have things that are affecting you, or toes that are cramming in like this.
Yes.
All these will affect how you end up looking upward.
I'm Veronica. I have been suffering so much with neck and back pain. Being a buster girl, I think makes it worse. I think being busted, having like a big bust, I think that's what she means. I think makes it worse. Makes it worse. Ask the doctor how I can manage the situation.
When you have a big bust, we talk about there are bras that you can buy that help you support the weight of the bra backwards. So they help your spine to be more upright. So because you see, the weight of the bra will tend you to put you in a flexion position. So there are bras that you can buy that are strong enough at the back. They have a stronger band at the back, but they help you pivot up, like, or rather lift your mammalian glands upwards, and that will help you ease off the back pain. However, if you don't have that and you're not able to access that, it's simple exercises that can be done by any posture expert or any someone who has some posture exercises, or what I've just shown, retracting your head, making the circles, and then and then doing this simple. They're very simple exercises, but you have to do them over time. Because there's the initial, you may feel the pain has gone away maybe within a few seconds or a few repetitions or a few treatments, but you need to continue this because you need to change the neurology, what we call the neuroplasticity. You need to change that so that then the body knows this is the upright position. You don't need to think about it. When you sit upright.
Great.
Yeah.
Veronica, you got help. Morning Wikali, ask Daktari what could be the problem with neck and one side of the shoulder paining. It happened for some time and then disappeared. What was that?
You find most people like that will have this kind of posture. If you look at them, they have this. It's more of a rotation. It will be something that is causing the neck to be pulled. How do I say it? This side, you see this side, get pulled this way. So it affects the opposite side. Why? Because, as I said, the brain provides motor, which is active function from this side of the brain to supply this side of the brain. This side of the brain to supply this side of the brain. So if you're having shoulder pain that is mostly here, there will be most likely something that pulls you this way.
I think this ties in with the next question. I'm Lucy from Juja. My son is 4 months old, but I've realized he has been tilting in one side. When I checked, I found out amefura kiasi round kwa shingo.
So that could be what is called congenital torticollis, whereby the muscles of the neck will be shortened, maybe because of the position the baby was in the womb, or if it was a natural delivery, maybe the baby got pulled as they're being delivered. But most likely it's the position the baby was in the womb. It can be corrected. But it has to be done early, and then, but it's not a quick fix. It's as the baby is growing, then the way you tweak or you work on those neck muscles slowly, and you work on the vision and the ears, and you're slowly able to get it back to position.
Okay. One final question, Kasavuli. One final question. Good morning, Mikali. You're looking good. My friend has an issue with his spine. Thank you. My friend has an issue with his spine. Early this month, it affected the left leg. It became numb and it was painful. He is to do an operation. How can he manage this? This is Kate from Nairobi.
Wow. Well, I'm from a school of thought whereby I don't advocate for spine surgery unless it's really, really necessary. And it has to be on extreme cases when somebody is threatening to get paralyzed, or they're losing their bowel control, or something in that seriousness. So before I do that, I would want to look at his feet, as I said again, to look how is the body balanced between side and side motion, front and back, and rotation. It is in out of lack of one of these, or a combination of two of these, that causes the spine to have a degenerative change where it pulls to one side, causing it to press on the nerves, because the discs will shift, so the nerve, as they exit that place, get compressed to cause the sciatic pain. So operating the back will give temporary relief, maybe for 1 or 2 years, but then you'll be back to where it started in a few Y, or sometimes it doesn't work at all. So you need, first of all, to try conservative. Try things that are non-invasive, because when you do something invasive like a surgery like that, and it doesn't work,
there's no going back.
Yeah, there's no going back. So you need to do conservative first. And make sure you try the best, and then you can do a surgery if it must be done.
Okay. Yeah. There are many questions coming in, Daktari, and our time is up. How can people get in touch with you? For you to just be able to help. That's what you do.
My office is a Premier Rehab and Wellness Centers, and our number is 0713 030
slowly, Daktari.
Oh, slow. Okay.
Yes.
My office is Premier Rehab and Wellness Centers, or the Human Garage. And our number is 0713 030 37905.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope you got that, guys. And social media, do you do that as well?
Yes, we also do social media. It's Premier Rehab Centers and at Premier Rehab Centers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Asante sana kwa kuja daktari.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in. Please, the questions. I know there are many, but we didn't have time. We're taking a very short commercial break. We will be right back. This is Full Circle with Mwikali.